Hello Year 9, I hope you're all keeping well. This is week 2 of your lighting project. Hopefully you've made a good start analysing the task, looking at existing lights, comparing them, finding out, just exactly what is involved in a light or a lamp, and also looking at inspiration from your mood boards. Today you're going to be looking at market research and analysing data. So by the end of this session, you should hopefully be able to use a primary source of research to gain your findings. So a primary source means first hand. And in your case, it will be to carry out a survey or a questionnaire which you're going to write. Here you can see what the all task involves. It involves every one of you coming up with at least 3 useful questions for your target user group about lighting. Most of you will hopefully be able to ask a range of open and closed questions, at least 6 for your target group, and some of you will hopefully come up with at least 8 varied questions so that you can find out exactly what it is that you need to know. So really think about your questions carefully. If you have already written a survey, and I know a couple of you have, and you've emailed these to me back along, you don't need to do this again. All right, so make use of that survey. Hopefully you did ask a range of people, and hopefully you can then use that data to analyse today. So in order to find out the information that you would like from your target group, the person that you are aiming this light at, you need to ask them some questions in either a survey or a questionnaire. You need to think about what's really needed. What do you actually want to find out? What's going to help you? Okay. Market researchers will often use a visual or a audio recording to support their designing. So they'll interview the clients, they'll film it, then they've got it there, they can play it back. They might show them some possible ideas and get feedback. Obviously, you don't need to do this, but what you are going to do, as I say, is come up with some useful questions. There are 2 main types of questions. There are closed questions, which is very much like a multiple choice, where you just give a selection of answers, and you limit the choice, but you make your questionnaire quite straightforward. The problem is you don't get masses of scope. You won't get ideas that you hadn't thought about. If you include open questions, you can get more ideas that you hadn't really planned for. So weigh up which ones you think would be more use for you. So your task now is to create a survey for your intended client, ranging from 3 to 8 questions, depending on what level you're aiming for. You need to think about how you're going to carry it out, whether you type it and then email it to people, whether you type up a few questions on your phone and send it, on social media. You might have people in your family, you might have, a grandparent that you can get on the phone and ask your questions to, and then you write down the findings. You decide what works best for you. Obviously, in lockdown, it's not the most straightforward. So hopefully at this point, you've carried out your survey and you've got your findings. Something I want to just show you within this lesson is mathematical modelling, which is basically another name for using graphs and data and making use of that to explore ideas. So for instance, if a table lamp was most popular in your findings, you would hopefully be able to make use of that and show that in your graphs that we're going to be looking at now. Okay. Graphs are used in every industry. We use them in schools, when we look at your data, your reports, your assessment. Supermarkets use them to see what sales were like last month, for instance, what sold the most, what sold the least. Loads of companies make use of graphs and data. In order to show data very easily, very visually, here are some graphs. These are 3 of the many kinds that are out there, but I just wanted to show you a selection so you can think about what you would like to use to show your results. So for instance, you can see in that pie chart, which is in the bottom left-hand side, it's round like a pie, hence its name. You can see that the USA has the highest number, followed by the UK. Top right-hand there, you can see that's called a vertical bar graph, and you can see that the middle colour there, the sort of turquoise colour, has the highest number of something. Graphs do need a key, and 2 of these graphs you can see don't have a label or a key telling us what they show. The bottom right hand one here does. It's a really useful graph because I can clearly see, thanks to all the labelling, that Tokyo has the highest temperature in August, but it has the lowest temperature in February. So a really useful way of showing results. And if you do happen to have a good set of results now, where you've asked maybe more than one person, if you're targeting, let's say, students, for instance, you will obviously be able to show that now in graphs. So now we're going to look at how you can show your results in a graph. If you have asked several people, this will be more straightforward than if you've asked just one. If you have just asked one, please don't worry. Use this as and when you think it would actually be useful to show your findings. It might be useful to show popular colours and unpopular colours, for instance. What I'm going to show you is obviously using PowerPoint, but you can also do this on Excel. If you're not using a laptop and you're looking at this in some other way, for instance on your phone, please do not worry, you can do a graph on paper. If you're doing a bar chart, please use a ruler, make it neat and clear and possibly colour code it. If you're choosing to do a pie chart, please don't worry, just make sure you're using a compass or something round to draw around so that it looks neat. All right, the neater it is, then the easier to read it is as well, which is needed for your marks. All right, so the first thing you do is you go to Insert at the top there, and then you click on Chart. It will instantly come up with this, where you have a whole choice of graphs down the left-hand side there. They're calling them charts. So column is what I have clicked on there, but you can see below it there's lots of different types, ones that we haven't even talked about. Pick the type of graph that you would like to display your results, and it will actually start popping up with something there that you can see. You then start getting what's part of a spreadsheet. Okay, this is very much like Excel. So you can see there on the screen, number 4, it's asking you to put in some data. All right, so you've got column A, and that's where you could put down, for instance, different types of light. And then along the top there, you could have the person's name. And then obviously you can start typing in your findings. If you look here, bottom right-hand side of the screen, this is what I have done. And this is what it comes up with. Okay, and I can change this. I can add a title to this, but it shows me that table lamps and compact lights are the most popular. So now, as a plenary, you need to produce an overall conclusion about what you have found out. What does your target market really want? What does your client want? What don't they want? Think about what this has taught you. Hopefully you can also name at least one type of graph and be able to use at least 3 questions in a survey to find out what you need. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.